Between the Uprights Live. I am here with Sammy. My name is Matt, and today we are reviewing Week 10. And as you can see, we have an already obnoxious man who has won his third. His team has just won his third game of the season. He's going to be over there being obnoxious for no apparent reason. However, okay, we have to get to a Sunday slate that not only the Dolphins was filled with upsets, there was a lot of really, really good games today. Plus, we'll be previewing Sunday and Monday Night Football. But first, all the beautiful YouTube things that we love as YouTubers: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, send us your questions in the chat as well. We will be reviewing those questions. We'll be responding, doing whatever. But apparently, we're going to start with the Miami Dolphins upsetting the Buffalo Bills and
where
moving
else
to a
do we
grand
need to start, Matt?
we could start with a good team, maybe that would be good. But apparently, we're starting with a 3-7
You're starting
Miami
with
Dolphins
a winning
team. And first of all, let me just say, Sammy, I actually might be more excited about this game than you, because what happened in this game was an absolutely beautiful thing. The Buffalo Bills moved to 6-3. And that means the New England Patriots are now a game and a half up with the tiebreaker up on the Buffalo Bills. So amazing. Fantastic job, Miami Dolphins. I absolutely love it. Second of all, both the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets win today, which means they're both trying to ruin their chances of getting the number one overall pick, the most valuable asset in the draft. So thank you to the AFC East. It's all coming up Patriots today, Sammy. It's all coming up Patriots. It's a very beautiful thing, but I guess I will kick it to you for some reason because you want to talk about the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we talk about a winning team? You know what I mean? A winning team that just beat one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl, let alone, look, the New England Patriots, for all intents and purposes, they could be first-round exits, okay? So we don't really need to focus on the New England Patriots, okay? We really don't need to. They might win the division. They might be first seeds, okay? If they run to Patrick Mahomes, they're going to lose, okay? It's just the reality of the situation, all right? But let's talk about something that actually matters, and that's the Dolphins beating the Bills for the first time in 3 years. 3 years, ladies and gentlemen. This is a big deal. Now, look, I could troll Josh Allen and the Bills constantly. I could just do this entire rant doing that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually have some actual critical analysis here, Matt.
Wow.
And my critical analysis, I'll take off my trolling glasses for a second here. Yeah, the Bills have the exact problem that you and me are concerned about, Matt, and it's the fact that they don't have any wide receivers that can separate. The Miami Dolphins were without their cornerback one in this game. Rasul Douglas was out in this game. Their starting corners were Jack Jones and Juju Brents, and they still could not create any kind of separation. They were also without their starting safety, Ashton Davis. Still, none of the tight ends and Dalton Kincaid, who got hurt in this game, none of them could really separate. It was the Josh Allen show, and you see how far in some games that can take you. Not very far. Now, why am I bringing this entire situation up? Jacoby Myers got traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 4th and a 6th round pick. I have a question. And I think it's a great question, Matt. What was stopping the Bills from making a trade like that?
Apparently a 4th and a 5th round pick, apparently. Yeah, that's definitely a trade they should have made.
You know, I would go as far as to say a 3rd rounder doesn't even matter. I would give up a 3rd for Jacoby Myers. That sounds crazy, but do the Bills really need 3rd round picks at this point? Not really. I wouldn't say they do. They're trying to compete for Super Bowls. So the fact that Jacoby Myers, who I believe had a touchdown today,
No, didn't have a touchdown today, but he looked okay.
He looked pretty good until Jacksonville choked. We'll get to that in a little bit. But the fact that the Jacoby Myers was right there, he's been good for a while now. Josh Allen, that's another weapon to worry about. It could open up things for Shakir, for Coleman, who, shout out to him, he had a touchdown, for the wide receiving room, period. But no, let's just not make that trade. And now look what's going on here. You lose to the Dolphins, and you have the same exact problems you've had for the last couple of years. You don't have a wide receiver to separate. So, look, I could troll. Look, the Dolphins went to 3-7. If we're being realistic here, it doesn't help our draft odds, but for vibes, let me tell you, man, for vibes, I'm feeling very good, Matt. And you're welcome, by the way, to patience. You're welcome. Okay, you're welcome. You guys should be like not bowing down. Okay, you can only bow down to Jesus, but like you should definitely be grateful, shaking every Dolphins fan's hand you see, specifically my hand, because I actually was in on you guys this year, even though you guys aren't going to make the Super Bowl, do any kind of noise in the playoffs. I was in on you guys this year, and I think that we helped you guys. And if you guys win this division, you remember week 10 of the NFL season, the Dolphins have helped make it happen, okay? So you're welcome, Matt. You're welcome. Is what you should be saying.
I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to hear anything from a Dolphins fan about what teams are or are not going to make a run in the playoffs. Okay, you are the last person to judge which team is going to make a run in the playoffs or which team is not. Okay, you've never seen a run in the playoffs. Okay, you've never seen it before in your entire life.
I have,
okay?
actually.
Us Patriots fans know what a run in the playoffs looks like. And again, I'm not saying that we will. Again, at the beginning of the season, I thought it was a first round exit as well, and I'm not too far off of that. We're getting better, but again, I'm not going to take that from you. I'll take it from a Chiefs fan for sure. I'll take it from a Chiefs fan. I'm not going to sit over here and take that from a Dolphins fan.
I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan.
Oh my God! Of course.
You've already had. I know what it takes. I've seen what it takes.
You've had to bandwagon away from your quarterback to Patrick Mahomes. What else is new?
I've been a fan of him since he was at Texas Tech. Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, man.
I really did enjoy this win from the Dolphins, though, because not only, like I mentioned, did it move the Bills to 6-3, it almost guaranteed the Dolphins won't have the number one overall pick. That's amazing. Also, maybe it puts that little seed into Stephen Ross in the front office mind. Like, ooh, maybe Mike McDaniel shouldn't be fired. Ooh, maybe we shouldn't move off Tua Tagovailoa. Maybe we should keep them another year. And you know what happens if they keep them another year, Sammy? Boom, they're last place again. They're second to last place again. They're not making the playoffs again. So I'm really hoping that they can make a run down the stretch. They can get this thing back to 8-9, where they normally end up at every single season. And then the front office is like, oh, we got to bring all these guys back. We saw signs at the end of the year. And then boom, next year it's 8-9 again. Oh, we got to bring these guys back. And then sure enough, they've been here for 5 more years, and you had to deal with Tua and Mike McDaniel for the rest of your entire life, Sammy.
Thinking, man. That's such wishful thinking. But the reality,
is, you think that's off the board?
You're not going to sit here. You think that like what you're doing right now is just killing my vibe, but it actually is. It's making my vibe so much better, because you know what? Chris Greer is gone. That man has been in our organization for 2.5 decades. All bets are off, okay? Everything you think about the Dolphins, throw it out the window. Throw it out. It doesn't exist anymore. We don't have Chris Greer. We're going to be just fine. This year, not our year. But we're taking you guys down in New England later this year in Foxborough. It's going to be the funnest thing. You know what? We're going to have an entire family affair.
What temperature do you think that game's going to be? Do you think it's going to be a warm game? Do you think that game's going to be in warm weather? What's Tua's record in warm weather? What's Tua's record in December? What's Tua's record against good teams? No, you can't blame Tua you cannot blame Tua in cold weather on the general manager. You can't possibly blame the general manager for your quarterback. You cannot.
I absolutely can. Yes, I can. Chris Greer is the cause of all of our problems. You saw it literally today. Chris Greer got fired. We had a mini bye week. We stomped Buffalo, okay? As far as I'm concerned, we could win out and go 10-7, all right? All bets are off, okay? Chris Greer is gone. My Fins fans, Chris Greer is gone. We can celebrate. This could be the dawn of a new era, okay? All bets are off, Matt. All bets are off.
You heard it here first. But between the Uprights fam, you heard it here first, okay? Tua was behind center, freezing his ass off in the cold, and he was thinking, I can't make this play because Chris Greer is our GM. That's exactly what was going on in all these cold weather struggles. This guy is so full of it, man. But speaking of a team that's full of it, full of a lot of wins, the New England Patriots moved to 8-2. Oh. They defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road. And listen, first things first, okay, I'll get my humility out the way, okay? I don't know what it is with the Patriots defense and being absolutely horrible on the first drive of every game. I don't know what it is. We love to allow first drive touchdowns to start off the game. It's a super bizarre thing for the Patriots defense, and then they decide to scoot up in the chair and lock in after that. But first drive, we're awful, and then we decide to lock in. But this game turned, Sammy, at the end of the first half, okay? That huge drive at the end of the first half, we almost screwed it up really badly. We tried not to score on the first play. Then it took a amazing play by Drake May and Stephon Diggs on that fourth down to get us the touchdown at the end of the half, which, by the way, like I said, amazing play by Stephon Diggs in the back corner of the end zone. Absolutely amazing. And then to start the second half, Josh McDaniels, do you see what happens when you give Travion Henderson the football? Okay, you get 2 50-yard touchdowns. You get the one to start the second half, which was the fastest play by any rookie player in the NFL, 22 miles an hour from Travion Henderson on that play. You see what happens when you give him the football. And don't think I didn't notice to start the game. You were trying to put Terrell Jennings in for most of the snaps. Terrell freaking Jennings over Travion Henderson. Don't think I forgot that, okay? We all saw it. You were trying to put Dearness Johnson in over him. We obviously see it with Ramondre Stevenson. Unbelievable, okay? You see what happens when Travion Henderson gets the football. He might be our best offensive playmaker, and we didn't give him the ball to week 10, okay? That is absolutely insane, unacceptable by Josh McDaniels, but you see what happens when you give him the ball, okay? And by the way, Joe, you're in the chat. Joe, I will never forgive you. Absolutely never forgive you this offseason for making us debate Bayshell freaking Tootin and Travion Henderson. I will never forgive you, okay? That was some of the most pointless, wasted time of my entire life because Travion Henderson does literally everything better than Bayshell Tootin, okay?
That's right, Matt.
Oh, we could have just got Bayshell Tootin in the foot. No, we couldn't have. He's not Travion Henderson. What are we doing, okay? The fact we finally gave Travion Henderson some touches, and he goes for over $150 and 2 touchdowns, seals the game. He's running so damn fast. He's literally looking over to the sideline like, oh, should I score or should I not score? That's how good Travion Henderson is, okay? So again, the New England freaking Patriots, all right? And by the way, all you guys saying, oh, the trash schedule, oh, blah. Why don't you take all the trash, again, the schedule hasn't been good, but you can take all that trash schedule BS, you can crumple it up, and you can shove it right up your ass, okay? Just shove all that trash schedule bullshit right up your ass, okay? Because the 2 best teams that we played on the road in Buffalo beat their ass. The on the road in Tampa Bay beat their ass too. So the 2 best teams we played, and by the way, Buffalo is a lot of people's AFC Super Bowl team, and Tampa Bay is a lot of people's NFC Super Bowl team. So don't say it's all we're beating up on just bums the entire time. We beat up on a bunch of people's Super Bowl opponents, okay? So the New England Patriots, 8-2, they are in the catbird seat to win this AFC East and maybe be the number 1 seed in the AFC, Sammy.
Congratulations.
How about that?
All because of the Miami Dolphins. I agree. It is 1,000. No, I'm not gonna. All right, let's stop the trolling for a second. Let me lower this. Let me not. All right, guys. We told you about the Patriots. Okay, me and Matt told you the leap was coming.
Not Joe.
The Joe, of course. Not, I said we because it's you and me right now, Matt. We told you about the Patriots. Okay, it was literally the writing was on the wall. Second-year leap from QBs happen. They happen all the time. And it happened with Drake May. We called that. Mike Vrabel is a winner. Everywhere he's gone, every season, he's always competitive. With the Titans, he didn't even have a competent QB. He's a winner. We called that. Patriots had a fantastic offseason. We know. We called that. So it blows my mind. We saw this schedule, Matt, and we're like, this team can win 10 games. And sure enough, they are now 8-2. And they're not only going to win 10 games, they could be the top of the AFC. Because obviously, don't look at me like that. This is not even trolling. We called the progression of the New England Patriots. We called it. We knew it was happening. But you had people saying that the Raiders we're gonna have a better season than the New England Patriots based on what? Because they brought in Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. Pete Carroll hasn't been to an NFC Championship game in how long? How long has that been?
2014?
24. Like what the heck? It's been over a decade. Okay, this isn't the 2010s. This is the 2020s. And in the 2020s, ironically enough, Mike Vrabel has made it to an AFC Championship game. Mike Vrabel has led a team to the number 1 overall seed with a depleted roster. We have literally seen these things, Matt. But no. The Tennessee Titans, I'm going to start a conspiracy, fired their head coach. They rolled in you know what? Belichick, you're out of here. We're going to hire Gerard Mayo as a facade for 1 year, and then we're going to hire Mike Vrabel after. Okay? That's literally what is going on. This was easy to predict. Yes. I'm grateful that I'm right. But the fact that so many people thought that this New England Patriots team was not going to be this team that was at the very least a 10-win team. Looking at the schedule, looking at the additions they made, why are we Tampa Bay's a really good team. They're gonna win their division. Tampa Bay's gonna win their division. Baker Mayfield, that roster top, like that is a good team that they just played. Went on the road and beat them. Okay. In my opinion, this was predictable. In my opinion, this is something that I expected to. I didn't expect them to win the division. I will say that. I don't think Matt. I don't know if you called them winning the division. I'm not very sure.
I did not. No,
but
I'm still not convinced of that. By the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of football to be played, obviously. But like, man, this leap that we're seeing from the New England Patriots, a blind man can see it, Matt. A blind man can see it.
It really wasn't that hard to predict, and we talked about it a lot. And by the way, real quick, a shout out to my boy Russ, he a high school buddy from Alaska. He bet me before the season. I believe the over/under for Patriots wins that he bet me was 6.5. He didn't think this Patriots team was going to get over 6.5 wins. We bet $50 on it. I texted him after this game. I said, "You owe me $50 more for being as wrong as a man could possibly be." Like, they're just a horrible, horrible bet from my boy Russ. Just said that I don't even know what the hell you were thinking, but. Also, by the way, Joe was in the chat talking about TreVeyon Henderson again. He said the TreVeyon's only balling because of injuries. The only reason that TreVeyon Henderson wasn't balling before is because I think Josh McDaniels saw your TreVeyon Henderson slander in the preseason, and he was like, "Oh, maybe TreVeyon Henderson isn't that good." And yeah, he believed it for no apparent reason. So, Joe, it's all your fault. That's why we haven't seen TreVeyon Henderson. It's all Joe's freaking fault. Okay, that's just the one reason that we didn't see TreVeyon Henderson before. So, but I mean. Listen, New England, we got our team back, man. We got a really, really good squad. Again, I'm not sure if it's a Super Bowl caliber squad. I know Lawrence is probably in the chat saying that we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm still not convinced of that. We still have a lot of holes that we need to clear up, and we might have a Super Bowl team next year. But this team's really, really good, and it's good, and we all saw it coming. But another team that's good, and maybe the record doesn't look good right now, but getting better. And this is a game that I really want to talk about for a number of reasons, Sammy. And that's the Baltimore Ravens defeating the Minnesota Vikings. The Ravens moved to 4-5. Again, not a good record, but we see this team starting to get healthier. We see Lamar Jackson coming back. We see them starting to get better and better each and every week. This defense starting to get better and better each and every week. And they defeated the Minnesota Vikings, who also moved to 4-5. Now, our boy Joe is not here, and he got called out by, shout out to Vocal Vike for calling our boy Joe out. Normally it's us. Normally it's me and you. We just did it, called Joe out for about 10 minutes there on this episode. But he called our boy out. And again, go subscribe to Vocal Vike as well. He's commented on a lot of our videos. He shows us love. So shout out to Vocal Vike. And again, normally, Sammy, we are not ones to stick up for Joe. Okay. Normally it's me and you that are going at him all the time. However, he called Joe a clueless J.J. McCarthy hater after Joe criticized J.J. McCarthy. And he said, by the way, Vocal Vike on the video said, "Oh, I'm all about accountability. I'm going to hold you accountable when J.J. dices up the Ravens defense on Sunday." But here's the thing about accountability, Sammy, and I preach this to the kids all the time. It's really easy to hold everyone else accountable. But can you hold yourself accountable? Will you keep that same energy with yourself after you were made to look foolish? Making a whole video on someone else's take on your team's QB only for your team's QB to play like absolute trash. And I personally am not panicked after a bad J.J. McCarthy start. I'm not. He's still young. I think he's going to develop into a solid, young, starting NFL QB. So I'm not overreacting on one terrible start. But y'all Vikings fans, we're talking crazy last week. And listen, Vikings fans, I got you want to know I got something else to say, okay? Keep Drake May's name out of your freaking mouth, okay? This is not comparable to Drake May's rookie year whatsoever. Vocal Vike and Vikings fans in our comments like, "Oh, but Drake May didn't Drake May have bad games his rookie year?" And of course, Drake May had bad games his rookie year. However, that's some of the most disingenuous commentary that anyone could ever give, because JJ McCarthy's first year starting this year, he has an elite coach / offensive mind / play caller with Kevin O'Connell. The best wide receiver in football in Justin Jefferson. Good weapons in other spots as well. TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones, Jordan Addison. We saw Jalen Naylor have a good game today as well. Drake May, his rookie year, had the single worst offensive line in football, the single worst head coach in football, the single worst offensive coordinator in football, and the worst wide receiver group in football as well. And by the way, even with all that, Drake May's numbers are still better than J.J. McCarthy's are right now. So again, and by the way, year 2 Drake May is now a betting favorite for MVP. Do you think at any point in J.J. McCarthy's career he will be the betting favorite for MVP? I would bet my house that he won't be. So Do not ever compare JJ McCarthy to Drake May ever again. It's disrespectful to the both of them, and you're lying to yourself if you think those situations would compare. And by the way, Joe actually wasn't going to shit on JJ McCarthy today. He said it in the chat. I don't know. He said, and I quote, I don't know if I blame him for both picks. The first one, definitely. The second one, not so sure. So Joe wasn't even going to come here and shit on him. Okay. But I'm here to hold y'all accountable because I can do it myself. If you watch the rest of this episode, there's a lot of things that I got wrong. I'm going to hold myself accountable on some of my bad takes that I've had over the course of the year. I'm going to hold myself accountable and how I was wrong. But since you, Vogelvike, desperately want to hold others accountable, I just want to make sure you can do that for yourself. That's all. But Sammy, okay, give me your thoughts on this Baltimore Ravens versus Minnesota Vikings game.
I think that the Ravens are getting hot at the right time. And this is a very important win because after this game, it gets a little bit lighter for the next 2 weeks. It's the Browns, it's the Jets. So I think though you can knock those 2 wins down pretty much. They are 4-5. So I expect them to be 6-5 heading into their divisional matchup against the Bengals. I do think that one's going to be tough because Joe Flacco has shown that he can light up the scoreboard. So I do think that the Ravens are on the right track. I think their defense has gotten a lot better. They did a great job on Justin Jefferson today. They did a great job making JJ McCarthy uncomfortable. What I will say though, and this has kind of been I just checked the Ravens defense. They had 12 QB hits in this game. They only have 1 sack, so they were definitely getting after JJ McCarthy here. But I want to talk about JJ McCarthy for a second. He doesn't have the best O-line, so again, this is a work in progress. We knew this offense wasn't going to be electric coming into the year because it's a QB I didn't believe in at all. I still don't believe in him fully, but I'm willing to give him a chance. That's what I said at the beginning of the year, and that's my stance on it for the foreseeable future until it's time. It took you 4 games, I believe, to hit over 200 yards, let alone like that. That to me, red flag, because you have Justin Jefferson, you didn't have Jordan Addison, but you have Naylor. Naylor's good. And Kevin O'Connell is one of the best offensive minds in the league. Sam Darnold for years was considered like a trash QB. Sam Darnold went to that system and thrived immediately. Now, JJ McCarthy will give a pass this year too. But you still have Justin Jefferson. You still have Kevin O'Connell. I'm sick and tired of Vikings fans giving these excuses for JJ McCarthy. It's okay to say he's a work in progress. It's okay to say he's a work in progress. He has got 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions on the year. He's got 692 passing yards, 173 yards per game. That is second to last among starting QBs. Guys, he's not good yet. He's not good yet. He's not. He's had a couple good quarters. He's shown flashes. He's shown grit. He's shown fight, but he hasn't been good. And that's fine. It's okay. Yeah. It's his first year starting. You think it was easy watching Tua stink it up? No, but guess what? We let him develop. It's okay. Now, I will say it's a bit concerning that we haven't seen we've only seen flashes for a quarter of him hitting Naylor on stride. We've only seen him flashes hitting Justin Jefferson. We've only seen flashes, which is good, but also bad because you have a good team. It's a good overall team. So the patience level is not going to be that high. I'm not going to be that very patient. And Vikings fans, you shouldn't be patient either because your team's ready to win now. It's not like your team is ready to win later. It's ready to win now. But I'm going to give him time. He stunk it up today. And Vogelvike, I think you went a little hard on my boy Joe. Tone it down a bit, okay? You haven't had a franchise QB ever, okay?
Yeah.
Ever.
Well,
really.
this is a prime example of why you need to remain humble because you beat the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Amazing game. JJ McCarthy's first game back, his first truly solid start to finish good NFL game, and you want to pop off. And if you want to pop off, you can pop off, but don't pop off and then expect there to not be repercussions afterwards. Like if he doesn't pop off, then we're gonna pop right back off, right back here. And Joe said it in the chat. He said, here, I'll put it up on the screen. He said, never thought Matt would be coming back for me. I didn't think so either. I
hate you, man.
I really, 100%. That is a fact. I never thought I would see this coming, but hey, like when we got to come to bat for you, we got to come to bat for you. So, but Minnesota goes to 4-5. Baltimore goes to 4-5 as well, and Baltimore's starting to creep up, like we talked about in previous videos. Baltimore's starting to creep up here in this AFC North. But I want to stay in the NFC North with a game that was a little bit closer than I thought was going to be from the early window. That's the Chicago Bears narrowly taking out the New York Giants, coming back in the fourth quarter as well. And this game is one that, again, I'm going to hold myself accountable. Like I mentioned in the last spiel that I gave to Vocal Vike, I'm going to hold myself accountable right now because in Caleb Williams' draft, I was talking about how he was a generational prospect. And if you would have watched this draft, or if you would have watched this game while Jackson Dart was playing and Caleb Williams was playing, because Jackson Dart eventually left with a concussion, if you would have watched those two quarterbacks and said, which one is the generational prospect, you would have said it was Jackson Dart and not Caleb Williams, because Jackson Dart was vastly outplaying Caleb Williams through and while he was in the game. Then Dart gets the concussion. Russell Wilson comes in. Obviously, the offense can't move with Russell Wilson. And then, to Caleb Williams' credit, leads two big-time drives to get a victory for the Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Bears don't feel like it, but this is a 6-3 football team right now. The Bears are somehow finding wins or finding ways to win these games, even though they don't look too good right now. And again, holding myself accountable, I didn't think Jackson Dart was all that good, but you watch this coming into the draft. And I also, holding myself accountable, didn't think it was a good idea for them to start him when they decided to start him. And lo and behold, both of those things have ended up wrong, because Jackson Dart has come in, looked really, really good, basically since the very first start that he's had. And obviously, I didn't like him getting picked 26 overall. I thought they should have went with Shedeur, but it's obviously been a fantastic selection for the New York Giants. So, and by the way, Jackson Dart was without Malik Neighbors, Cam Scatterbo, Darius Slayton. The offensive line isn't good. Like he did an amazing job today while he was healthy. But the story here, I think, is the Chicago Bears still 6-3. Sammy, give me your takeaways from this New York Giants and Chicago Bears game.
It's so weird because, like, I really did think the Giants were going to win this game, and I thought the Giants were outplaying the Bears, and then Jackson Dart comes out, and I got to shout out Jackson Dart because he's one tough kid, bro. He's a tough kid. Like, the fact that he can't, I mean, I feel so heartbroken because he came out with a concussion. You could tell he was so angry. He wanted to be out there so bad. And to see Russell Wilson, oh, buddy, bro. Like, see Russell Wilson try to operate the offense. Like, oh, it was just disgusting, bro. It was not fun to watch at all. Caleb Williams, I know everybody's gonna say Ben Johnson's doing a great job, and I've seen some people say Ben Johnson's doing a good job, and I'm just thinking to myself, is this defense, this offense, 391 total yards, not bad against a Giants defense that's solid, but you were 3 of 11 on third down, and you're passing wise, 36 attempts, 220 passing yards. I expect more from Caleb Williams. The standard at Chicago, I know, isn't very high. Okay, believe me, I know a lot about low standards. In my opinion,
is that your football team or your personal life?
No, don't. Let's not go into that rabbit hole, shall we? No, I'm just. You rattled me. I'm not gonna. You got me. You got me. You got me.
Got him.
You got me there. Look, man, I think the standard at Chicago should straight up just be higher, man. Like Caleb Williams, is he the generational talent you say he is? I want to see it on the look. He played like it in the fourth quarter. I'll give him that. But it feels like throughout the game, and it's been a week-to-week thing, throughout the game, the offense isn't the offense we usually see a Ben Johnson offense look like. It's not. And I think it starts on third down. I think third down, you got to be better. Caleb Williams, in my opinion, needs to be better. I love the way he ended the game. I think I want to see that throughout the entire game. I look, him out of structure is cool to see. I want to see him operating within this structure at a high rate. That's like really my thing. I think Caleb Williams outside of structure, that's why he's your future. But if he can't operate within structure, within what's going on in that offense, man, it gets annoying sometimes because it feels like the offense is limited. And I don't want to say that they're like the worst 6-3 team in the world because they have wins against pretty solid opponents, I would say. So I would go as far as to say, like, well, not solid. Let me not. Some of them are like below average, but like I will say, I want to see better. I think this next week they're facing the Vikings. That's a great test against the Brian Flores defense. That's a great test. think it's a great test for McCarthy as well. It's facing that Bears defense, see what he can do against them. I think next week is going to be a great litmus test to see how both teams in the NFC North are stack up against each other. The Bears don't feel like a 6-3 team. They don't even feel like a playoff team, but they are. And I think for now we're going to respect that. But I want to, like, when I watch the games, I want to feel it as well.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree, Sammy. And to your point, like you were talking about how people were saying Ben Johnson's doing a good job. I don't think he's doing a bad job, but I also don't think he's doing a good job. I think he's doing okay. Like the team is winning, but like you mentioned, I want to see more from Caleb Williams. Like he's just not consistent. You'll see the talent that Caleb Williams has in bits and pieces. You'll see it in spurts. He'll make throws. You're like, God damn, there it is. But then you'll also see him make throws that are just like, what the hell is he doing? Like what? Like that wasn't even close, So he's got to hone in his accuracy. He's got to hone in his decision making. He's got to be able to see the field better because I don't think Caleb Williams sees the field right now very well, and that's something that Ben Johnson can help him with. So yeah, to your point, Ben Johnson isn't doing the best job, but he's also not doing the worst job. And I mean, that's a exciting thing if you're a Bears fan. Like, hey, he's not doing a great job, and we're 6-3. So there's definitely more. There's more meat on this bone for the Chicago Bears. But Sammy, you talked about the Bears don't feel like a 6-3 team, and we can be really quick on this one because this game was horrible to watch. But and again, I'm going to hold myself accountable here. The Carolina Panthers don't feel like a 5-5 team. The Carolina Panthers feel so much worse than a 5-5 team because the New Orleans Saints drastically outplayed them today, and the Panthers obviously missed a huge opportunity. They could have cut if they would have beat the one-win New Orleans Saints. They could have cut the Bucs division lead to a half a game. They could have been 6-4, a half game out. And Sam, you remember my division pick, NFC South division pick preseason? I picked the Panthers. I went way out on a limb. I picked the Panthers. I was ready to come in here and say, "Oh, look at me!" And just like I said, the Carolina Panthers winning the division. And then, sure enough, the Panthers became the Panthers once again. You can never trust them. And Bryce Young, I just don't think he's going to be able to make it work in Carolina. He just doesn't look like a franchise quarterback right now. And the Saints, despite their record, I've actually been kind of impressed with Kellen Moore, and they've been a competitive team. And I also wrote on something that hold myself accountable with. I said before the draft, if Tyler Shuck goes to the right system, he could have success. And I didn't think it was New Orleans. And honestly, I still don't think it's New Orleans, but I might be looking wrong on that as well. Good. He looked pretty solid today in this game against the Carolina Panthers, and he was very, very good. Or he looked solid against the Rams last week, and I thought he looked very good today. He played better against the Panthers defense than your boy Jordan Love played against the Panthers defense last week, Sammy. So, Sammy, real quick, thoughts on this Panthers and Saints game?
Yeah, I'll keep this brief. I think this is a battle of two teams that aren't good, straight up. They just aren't good. And one of them was trying to disguise themselves, like straight up. And I think the Panthers have gotten a lot of good lucky breaks against the Packers, against even the Dolphins, right? I mean, against even the Cowboys. Like they've gotten some lucky breaks. But I overall still have the same feeling about this team that I had in week one. I don't think this is a good team. What I will say is that this is good progress. I think there's a foundation to build on. I think that's something that's very important. There's a foundation to build on. So this isn't the year you're going to compete at all. You're not going to make the playoffs or anything. But I do think you can win 7-8 games. And I think overall you're still gonna you're gonna have a nice foundation. You're still gonna feel good about the season that you had. As for New Orleans, Tyler Shuck, man, looking a lot better than Spencer Rattler, that's for sure.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. We're gonna see a comment here in about 30 seconds from Joe on that one. But I mean, your point about the Panthers is right. There's definitely building blocks. I like Tedero McMillan. Rico Dowdle didn't have as good of a game today as he has been having, but that's a potential running back that you could build around, like based on what he's done so far this year. The defense has gotten a whole hell of a lot better. They've really improved that unit, one of the most improved units in the NFL. But yeah, they're just not ready. It's just not a team that's ready to really win at a high level. Speaking of a team that's not ready to win at a high level, Sammy, we're going to the AFC South, and we saw a fraud get exposed, Sam. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars. This game, obviously, the Jacksonville Jaguars blow a 19-point second half lead to Davis Mills and the Houston Texans. And this was a game that I was like kind of like watching out of the corner of my eye. Like I was like wanting to see what was going on, but I was like, oh, Jags are going to kind of cruise to this win. But this whole game is why I don't believe in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, they're facing a great pass defense. Darius Stingley had an amazing interception today. It's a great defense in general. Okay. But the pass game is still awful despite no Travis Hunter and no Brian Thomas. Okay. And the defense, y'all couldn't get a stop when you needed it. In the second half against Davis Mills, bro. You couldn't get a stop against Davis Mills is crazy. And they also couldn't stop the Texans' run game. The Texans' run game has been really bad all year. It's like 25th ranked in the NFL, and they rush for a $140 and over 5 yards a carry on you. So again, this Jacksonville Jaguars team, we saw it. I've been talking about this the entire season. Even when I think they were 4-1 at one point, I didn't believe in them then because this team just hasn't shown me enough on a week by week basis. And sure enough, here we are losing a terrible game on the road to the Houston Texans. So Sammy, give me your thoughts here on this Houston Texans comeback over the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ironically, you look at like the stat sheet in this game, and like it looks like the Texans were leading this entire. They had 422 total yards. They led in time of possession. They had more first downs. Third down, they were better. In the red zone, they were better. Rushing, they were better. Passing, they were better. Yards per attempt, rushing, they were literally better. If you look at the stats, they were literally better. So, in my opinion, the better team won. This is not a case where the Texans escaped. This was a case where the Jaguars were getting bailed. They had a couple turnovers. They forced a couple turnovers via special teams. They did some good stuff on defense, and then eventually after the third quarter, the better team won in that fourth quarter. They did. So I don't know what else to say about Trevor. I've said this so many times about Trevor Lawrence.
So frustrating.
I'm not gonna even like elaborate on it. 13 of 23, 158. I mean, just average. He's an average QB, guys. He just is. I will give Jacksonville some benefit of the doubt because they were without some of their weapons. I'll give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. However, you're facing Davis Mills, and therefore the benefit of the doubt gets taken away. Shame on you, Liam Cohen. This should not have happened. Shout out to D'Amico Ryans because quietly 4-5, and they have the Titans next week, so that should be a dub, all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night football in 2 weeks against the Bills. They should be 5-5 when that matchup happens. That'll be a big game for both teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big one. And like you mentioned, I mean, the Houston Texans, they're in a spot where they can potentially make a run here. And obviously now they have the tiebreaker over the Jags, which is really big as far as that 7 seed goes, because there's a lot of teams that are going to be in that 7 seed race. And that's where the Houston Texans are trying to go to. So yeah, big win, big comeback for the Houston Texans. But I have Browns and Jets written in here, and I just have Nope written. So we're gonna speed right past that, and we're gonna go to the winner of the leader right now of the AFC South, and that is the Indianapolis Colts, who it took overtime. It took a hell of an effort from Jonathan Taylor for the Indianapolis Colts to overcome the Atlanta Falcons in Berlin. Jonathan Taylor legacy game, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns, absolutely dominant performance by Jonathan Taylor. It's why Joe wants him as the MVP. He is the best back in football right now. However, I am still concerned, Sammy. I am still concerned about Daniel Jones. I am very concerned. He had that deep ball to Alec Pierce. Beautiful throw. Alec Pierce kind of went up and got it. Alec Pierce having a nice season as well. He's been a really good receiver for Daniel Jones. However, other than that, I thought Daniel Jones was terrible in this football game outside of that one throw to Alec Pierce. Obviously, like I mentioned, you got a running back who goes for 250 and 3 touchdowns, makes it a lot easier to win. Daniel Jones had a pick, had a couple of fumbles as well. I think he only lost one, but still, he did not look good in this game. This is the second straight week that he has not looked good, and I'm starting to get more and more nervous about Daniel Jones. And another guy, again, I'm here to hold myself accountable. I'm going to do it. I'm holding myself accountable, okay? The first half, Michael Penix Jr. was outstanding. He was absolutely awful in the second half. He was terrible in the second half. Yeah. He has been super inaccurate. He has been he just has spurts. Like you'll see throws of it. It's very similar to Caleb Williams to me. He'll have spurts where he'll make throws and you're like, God damn, what a throw. And then he'll have 3 after that where you're like, what the hell are you doing? Like that, there's no way you were trying to throw it to the guy you were trying to throw it to because it was nowhere near him. So Michael Penix, he's making me a little bit nervous right now because he has been super, super inconsistent, super, super inaccurate. And like I said, inconsistent between halves. He was amazing in the first half, terrible in the second half. So that's something else that I got to hold myself accountable on because Michael Penix has not been nearly as good as I thought he's been. But Sammy, give me your takeaways here. This Colts and this Falcons game in Berlin early in the morning, by the way, very early.
I think JT's my front runner for MVP now. I am that strong now. I'm with Joe for now. I have JT and I have Matthew Stafford and then I have Drake May and then Sam Darnold. It's a close race right now. But JT, man, like there's nothing else to really say about him. Like he's leading the league in rushing and yards per game and touchdowns. I mean, he had an incredible, bro. He turned an 83-yard touchdown. he literally ran into a wall. No, I mean, there was some push, but there wasn't a lot of push. There was no space. The Falcons defended it about as well as you could defend anything. And then Jonathan Taylor did the MVP thing and then busted it out for 83 yards. I mean, he's a difference maker in this. He's a difference maker in this team, and he's the reason why they won this game. He's looking really, really good. Daniel Jones, I will say, man, I still have that feeling about him, Matt. I still have that feeling about him, like that itch, like like he wants to turn the ball over. He turned the ball over twice in this game, so the turnover Daniel Jones is coming back, but luckily for him, he has weapons around him to kind of bail him out, which he never had before. So he had, excuse me, he had guys like Tyler Warren that could bail him out, guys like Alec Pierce that can bail him out, right? I mean, JT, obviously the MVP, bailed him out. So he looked at 578 yards of total offense is crazy, especially against a defense that was really, really good. So I'll give them a lot of credit there. My concern, third down this game, they couldn't get anything. They were 2 of 12. So the Falcons defense did a great job there. I'm not concerned for Michael Penix too much. I think he had a rough game here, but I think he made some throws that I was like, you know what, like they got their guy. Then he made some throws where it was like,
God,
he's wide open, like he's there,
crazy.
He's there, and so I think Michael Penix, you're in good hands there. I always look at third down because that kind of gives me like a litmus test of how an offense does. The Falcons were 0 of 8 on third down, so like it's not the ultimate litmus test, but I think it's a very big deal to get to be able to convert on those crucial downs, and they weren't able to today. Michael Penix will be fine. They're losing against a team that's trying to get to the Super Bowl this year. Shocker. And I think the Falcons will be okay, although winning the division is a long shot now.
Yeah, I mean they're just not going to. I mean 3-6 at this point. The Bucks sitting at 6-3, and the Panthers are even above you as well right now too. If you're the Atlanta Falcons, plus the Panthers have the tiebreaker. The Panthers beat the Falcons 30-0. If you guys remember that, what a great,
how did that
happen? What an insane NFL season this has been. And then the Falcons beat the Bills. The Dolphins just beat the Bills. What the hell is going on? This has been a crazy season so far this year. But yeah, like you mentioned, I still believe in Penix. It's just he's been super frustrating to watch this year. And this is a team to me that really benefits from a new head coach. Maybe if Mike McDaniel gets fired, I hope obviously, like I mentioned earlier in the episode, Mike McDaniel doesn't get fired. But if he does get fired, this would be a great offensive coordinator job for Mike McDaniel to go to the Atlanta Falcons. You have the weapons. You have a really talented quarterback. You're dealing with a left-handed quarterback right now. You got another one with Michael Penix. So again, you could kind of transition him into that role. But yeah, right now it's been a frustrating watch for the Atlanta Falcons.
Are we about to get to the predictions for Sunday Night Football? Are we about to get to that
right
now?
Real quick, I wanted to because we got 15 minutes, don't we?
Yeah, I was just making sure that we weren't like gonna get to there because I do wanted to talk about like the second window. I don't know if we're about to
so that's what I was just going to talk about the second window in general because I have perfect. YouTube TV. And by the way, screw YouTube TV for having beef with Disney and taking ESPN off of YouTube TV. What the hell are you guys doing? Like, you're trying to screw us over. What is going on? But anyways, okay, I had YouTube TV going with Sunday NFL Ticket. I had all 3 games of the second window going on. I would look over at the Rams and be like, man, the Rams, they look like the best team in the NFL. Then I look over at the Seahawks and be like, man, Seahawks look like the best team in the NFL. Then I look over at the Lions. Oh, Lions look like the best team in the NFL. Like those 3 teams were just clicking on all cylinders. Those offenses looked amazing. The Seahawks kind of fell back to earth a little bit in the second half. And then we saw the Lions kind of just turn it on in the second half as well, same as the Rams. But 3 impressive teams in this second window, Sammy. What were your main takeaways from this second window?
I mean, my main takeaway, I think we should like temper ourselves when discussing the Lions. I heard a lot of crazy talk last week because they got beat by a division rival. I think we got to calm down. I think the Lions are led by an incredible head coach in Dan Campbell, who has them ready to play each and every week. And this roster is very, very talented. Okay, they have a solid QB. They have a sure-handed QB. They have the weapons. They have the offensive line. The defense is better this year, more importantly, and they're healthy. So look, the Lions, they're 6-3. They don't feel like it's honestly shocking that this team isn't leading the division. I think it's still the Packers, I believe, or actually they might actually be leading the division. Am I right? Am I wrong, Matt? That they're are they?
It's going to be like a percentage thing because I think the Packers are 5-2-1 and the Lions are 6-3. So I think technically the Packers will. think that Packers will technically still be in front based on
Right.
the
Yeah.
win percentage.
It feels like the tides have turned from both teams. It feels like, the Lions have kind of risen to the occasion, and the Packers have kind of like slowly but surely kind of decreased. I think the Lions are fine. My other takeaway, I think Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold, they have like firmly put themselves in the MVP race. And my last takeaway on the second window, JSN, bro. JSN.
Bro.
He might, had it not been for Jonathan Taylor, he would be the runaway for offensive player of the year. And he's
right there too, though. Like he's right
right.
there.
He's right there. No, I mean, look, and that kind of speaks on Jonathan Taylor and the season that he's having. But JSN, man, like we were waiting for him to break out. We were waiting for him to break out eventually. He's done it, and he's done it in a way that's, oh my god. Like Sam Darnold, shout out to him. This is why I have him in the MVP race right now. Sam Darnold
Unbelievable.
is almost unrecognizable this year. And he was
crazy.
unrecognizable last year. The only thing holding me back from buying fully in on the Seahawks is because I know what Sam Darnold does when he sees the ghosts. So I'm trying to I'm trying. So I know a Seahawks fan, and he's really cool. And he was like, "Yo, I'm telling you, Sam, this is the year, Sam. This is the year." I'm like, "Yeah, but like, I don't trust that guy right there. I don't trust that guy. I just don't. Not yet. Like, guys, be honest. Are we gonna trust a Super Bowl winning MVP caliber QB in Matthew Stafford, future Hall of Famer, by the way, or you're gonna trust Sam Darnold?" I'm putting my chips on Matthew Stafford for now. Sam Darnold still has a bit to prove, but he's looking good this year, Matt. I don't know, man. He's looking different.
Look at real good. And they added Shaheed as well. Like we talked about, he's going to continue to get more and more involved in that offense. Cooper Kupp came back this week as well. The running game's looking good as well. The Seahawks, just like the defense is dominating. Like it just looks like a complete team. But so do the Rams right now. Like Matthew Stafford, 4 more touchdowns today, 25 touchdowns, 2 picks for Matthew Stafford through 10 games. Like this guy is balling out as well. So he is right there firmly in the MVP conversation, and quite very super quiet 25 touchdowns, 2 picks. I think it's because Puka's gotten a lot of the attention. Devontae's obviously started to come on a little bit as well. But man, Matthew Stafford is playing high level football. He's still got tremendous arm talent. Obviously, the no looks are still out of this world. I don't know how he does that. It's unbelievable what Matthew Stafford can do with the football. But all 3 of these teams in this late window in the NFC looked really, really good. Looked Super Bowl caliber, like all of them expected to be before the season. Maybe besides the Seahawks. I don't know if the Seahawks expected to be Super Bowl caliber before the season, but that's where they're at right now. But Sammy, let's go. Sunday night football. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting at 5-3, going up against the Los Angeles Chargers. And to me, Sammy, I think this could be a tough matchup for the Chargers offense right now, especially with the elite pass rush and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we talked about this a lot as far as the Los Angeles Chargers go. These tackle injuries, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater not being there, we see the difference when Justin Herbert has his tackles and when he doesn't. And it's a big time. It's a big time difference. Justin Herbert, when he's under pressure, not Justin Herbert. It's when any quarterback is under pressure, they don't have nearly as much success as when they have time to throw. And you see it with the numbers with Justin Herbert. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. His numbers drop off drastically when Joe Alt is out of the lineup. Joe Alt is going to be out for the rest of the season. Now you got to face TJ Watt. Now you got to face Nick Herbig. Now you got to face Alex Highsmith. Now you got to face Cam Hayward. This is a tough matchup right now for the Los Angeles Chargers. However, Sammy, I just don't believe in the Steelers. I simply do not believe in the Pittsburgh Steelers. It took you 6 turnovers to beat the Colts by 7. It took you 5 turnovers to beat the Patriots by a touchdown. Okay. So if they only force 2 turnovers today, are they going to win the game? I don't know. Like that's my problem. Can you beat a good team without forcing 5 turnovers, Pittsburgh? That's what you're going to have to prove to me. So to me, Sammy, I am still going with the Los Angeles Chargers, even though I believe this is a tough matchup for the Chargers here on Sunday Night Football. So Sammy, what do you think? Chargers, Steelers, Sunday night coming up in about 13 minutes. Who you got?
I'm so close to picking the Steelers in this game only because of the TJ Watt effect and how that pass rush is going to get home. But I do think that Justin Herbert is going to find a way to create time for himself. He's done it in the past. I think he's going to do it today. And also, I do think this Chargers defense, even though statistically the defense isn't like anything crazy, I do think that the defense can like make Aaron Rodgers uncomfortable. And I don't think that the Steelers offense is really good enough for me to really be sold on them to take advantage of any kind of like field position that the Steelers, if they do get turnovers, I don't think they can take full advantage. So the Chargers, to me, I still have them winning this game. I still think it's going to be close because I just think that the Steelers, they play close games. I think Mike Tomlin has these guys ready to play every single week, and in spite of the fact that they might like fade in the second half, I think that this team is going to be ready to play. I think this is a close game. Justin Herbert's going to be the difference, and the Chargers are going to win this game. The TJ Watt, I was like so close to changing my mind last minute, but I just can't. I just can't not.
Yeah, I think like you talked about, Sammy, this is like it's gonna TJ Watt could ruin this game. Like I could easily see this being a three sacks and a strip sack, and he forces a turnover and then has a couple other pressures that lead Herbert to making a bad decision or two, and the Steelers do get their 3 or 4 turnovers and win this game, or 6 or whatever they're gonna get and win this game. But I just don't trust I don't trust the Steelers as a whole. I don't trust this defense if they're not getting turnovers to get stops. I don't trust this offense if the defense isn't getting turnovers to move the ball consistently downfield. So they're super turnover and sack reliant right now. So if that doesn't work, how are you going to win the game? I just don't know for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one as well. But Sammy, not only do we have a really good looking Sunday night football matchup, we got a really good looking Monday night football matchup this week. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to Lambeau Field to face your boy, Sammy, your favorite quarterback in the NFL, Jordan Love, and the Green Bay Packers. And this is a NFC wildcard round rematch from last year where the Eagles kind of took it to them for pretty much the whole entire game. The Packers offense could not get it rolling. They couldn't do much against the Philadelphia Eagles last year in that wildcard round, or in the wildcard round last year. And I'm here to tell you, Sammy, it's going to be the exact same this year, because if anybody watched our episode this week on the Green Bay Packers, we both talked about it. This offense cannot move the ball against competent defenses, not just like elite level, Texans, Broncos, the Cleveland Browns defense. It's not just those defense. They can't move the ball against good to solid to mediocre defenses. The numbers are absolutely staggering. They go from averaging 400 yards against the worst defenses in the league, over 400 yards, to averaging 280 against defenses that are just kind of good. So I think the Green Bay Packers, I think the addition of your boy Jalen Phillips on this Eagles defense, this is going to be the first week we see him in Philadelphia, combined with that secondary that they've got, combined with Jalen Hurts going up against this Packers offense, or against this Packers defense, excuse me. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to pull out a victory in Green Bay. They're 2.5-point underdogs. I would take that in a heartbeat. Obviously, I would definitely take the 2.5 points with Philly in Lambeau. So give me the Eagles here. I think it's going to be something like 24-17. Give me Philadelphia over the Green Bay Packers. Sammy, what do you got? Eagles or Packers on Monday Night Football?
It's going to be a close game, and I think it's because both defenses are going to show up. I do think that talent wise, I think the Eagles have the Packers outmatched in terms of offense. Like they definitely have the way more talented offense, but I do like Green Bay's defense. Philly's defense this year really hasn't been as impressive as it used to be, as it was last year. Still some threats there. I think the addition of Jalen Phillips is going to help them tremendously. Because they don't really get to the quarterback as often as they should. They're 23rd in sacks. So I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this game. I do want to say that I know I sounded very crazy regarding that short you dropped. Matt, you made me sound insane. And
Those were
I
your
didn't
words.
know. I didn't
You
know.
said those things.
I didn't know I came across that crazy. And you want to know something? I want to double down. Okay, I want to double down on what I said. Okay, I want to double down.
Let's go.
Somebody said, "Oh, you can't name 15 QBs." Look, was I stretching it a little bit? I might have been.
No.
I might have been a little bit stretching it. But after this game, when Jordan Love stinks it up, which he will, after he doesn't play well, I'm going to name you on. I don't know if I can make Tuesday's show, but on Friday's show, I'm going to name 15 QBs. If Jordan Love loses this game, I will name you 15 QBs that are better than him. 15 of those big ones. Matt and Joe will critique me. I will simply sit there and smile. I do not care, okay? Now, I know this is very harsh, and I'm not a harsh person. I promise you I'm not. I'm very mild-mannered for the most part. But it's just, in my opinion, Jordan Love What happened? What I say?
You're mild mannered. Since
What?
when?
I
You're
am.
mild mannered?
Yeah, yeah. I'm super
According
evenly
to
tempered.
who?
Uh, according to me and the
You said you're
and my
super
life,
evenly tempered? Get
Yeah,
out of here,
evenly
bro.
tempered,
You
man.
you you pretend like we've never talked to you before.
Nah. I think you're thinking of somebody else, man.
How
I think.
how about you go how about you rewind this to the very beginning of this
But
episode and
look,
tell me that you're mild
guys,
mannered?
guys. Look, I
Look at
know
this guy.
sometimes there are times where I, raise my voice, but for the most part, I'm a very calm individual. I do. I really believe that. Now, with that being said, Jordan Love and the Packers are going to lose this game. I don't think Jordan Love is going to play like trash, but I think it's going to be your average Jordan Love game. I think he's going to throw a touchdown pass, super random to a wide open receiver that Matt LaFleur schemed up. Could be a screen, could be something crazy. And then he's going to throw the wildest interception you've ever seen. Going to stack up passing yards via screens to Josh Jacobs and whatever random wide receiver LaFleur chooses. And they're going to lose this game 27-17 by two scores. The Eagles are going to win, and they are going to. I think the Eagles are going to start streaking pretty soon. It's going to be a 3-game winning streak now. So, looking at the rest of the schedule, I mean, they face the. Oh wow, they face the Lions next week. Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be a good one next week. And like we talked, this Eagles offense is really starting to get going as of late. Jalen Hurts is looking like the quarterback that we saw in the Super Bowl, really in both Super Bowls, that we saw that he can be throwing the football, and he's been really, really solid these last couple of weeks. So hopefully they can make that continue. But Sammy, real quick before we get out of here, we got 5 minutes, we got some time.
Yep,
We didn't get to talk about Thursday night football. Okay, we did not get to talk about this Thursday night
we
football game
didn't.
between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. And
Wait, we
Sammy,
have
both
to
me
talk
and you
about that
talked
game.
about it.
We
We're
have
not
to.
going to talk about the game. We're not going to talk about the game itself because the game
Oh, okay.
itself
All right.
was absolutely disgusting. We're going to talk about
All
the
right.
Denver Broncos
Oh
because
yeah. Okay.
we
All right.
have
Yeah.
all said it. We've all said it. And Sammy, me and you before the season, we were huge on the Broncos. We were
Yes,
talking
we
about
were.
this Broncos team could make a Super Bowl run. This is how good this Broncos team is. However, this offense is fucking terrible. This offense is
Oh my God.
horrible. Bo Nix is playing terrible quarterback right now. Regardless of whatever numbers you pull up say, if you watch football with your eyes, you understand what's going on the field. Bo Nix is playing horrible quarterback right now. He is not playing well at all. He's got a Sean Payton system that we've seen quarterbacks have success in. He's got one of the best offensive lines in football. He's got two solid running backs. RJ Harvey can knock the top off. You got J.K. Dobbins to work in between the tackles. A bunch of solid receivers. We see his connection with Troy Franklin really starting to come on right now. Cortland Sutton on the outside. You love Marvin Mims more than maybe Marvin Mims' mother, Sammy. You love Marvin Mims so much. Okay. But the point is, Bo Nix has a lot to work with in this offense. And Bo Nix looks terrible 90% of the time. He'll have one good drive, maybe towards the end of the game. He'll get the win, but he looks terrible a lot of the time. And that is why, even though the Denver Broncos are 8-2, tied atop the AFC right now, I cannot trust these guys as true Super Bowl contenders. Sammy, give me your thoughts on this Thursday night, not the Thursday night football game. Give me your thoughts on the Broncos. What is going wrong in Denver right now?
I think Sean Payton's doing an abysmal job for one. I think Bo Nix's QB play is terrible. And then on top of that, like when you put those two together, like it just creates an extreme disaster class. This is not a this is not a bad weapons room, okay? This is not a team
No, it's not.
that is lacking in weapons, okay? You guys know how much I like Marvin Mims, obviously, but Cortland Sutton and Troy Franklin are solid receivers. Like these are not bums that they have at receivers. I mean, even talking about their running back room, RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey is a solid running back as well. J.K. Dobbins is a solid running back as well. Like these are solid weapons. It's not like and Sean Payton last year used these exact same weapons and it was a solid offense. It wasn't it got better as the year went on. This offense has not taken any kind of step and it's not going to. It's week 10. Week 10, I have a rule. Week 10, you are who you are. It does not matter what I see. From here on out, you are who you are. Anything else is an anomaly. Okay? What we saw from the Dolphins today is an anomaly. It shouldn't happen. Okay? That's not who the Bills are. What we saw from the Broncos, we saw it a week before, we saw it a week before that, and they've had spurts in the fourth quarter. Those don't really count. Those don't count. I don't care. I don't care how good you play in the fourth quarter. I don't care that you have 8 wins. The offense is abysmal. This team, look, they might win the division just out of pure, I don't want to say luck, out of just fortune and God. But like, I just don't think, like quite frankly, your first round, like, you're the most sure-handed, in my opinion, the most sure-handed first round exits in the entire NFL. Right? More than the New England Patriots, more than the Green Bay Packers, more than like whatever team faces you, they're going to be craving to face you because all they're going to say is, well, we just need 15 points and we're good. And they might run it up anyway. This is a good Broncos defense. Shout out to Vance Joseph. So the defense is going to be fine, but geez, bro.
It's
Abysmal, man.
unbelievable.
Abysmal.
And I talked about it. I talked about it in the chat a little bit. I was like, man, if Bo Nix could just get hot for like a playoff run, like this team could make the Super Bowl. Like still, they could get to the Super Bowl because this is a Super Bowl caliber defense. Sean Payton knows how to get a team to the Super Bowl. We saw it in New Orleans. And then if Bo Nix can just get hot, they can make a run. The problem is Bo Nix isn't going to get hot because Bo Nix is not capable of that. He's not good enough to do that. Okay. He's just not a good enough quarterback. And to show you how Vegas thinks about the Denver Broncos, they are at home next week against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are sitting at 5-4. The Broncos are sitting at 8-2. Like I said, the Broncos are at home and they're 3.5 point underdogs. Normally you get 3 points for being at home. You have a 2.5 game lead on the team that you're playing against and they still don't believe in you. That shows you where this Denver Broncos team is at. And I guarantee you next week, unless Patrick Mahomes comes down with COVID 2026, I'm going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs in that game. So the Denver Broncos, I simply just do not believe in them right now. And it's hard to believe in them if you ever watched any single snap from the Denver Broncos offense at this point in the season. But Sammy, we have to get out of here, man. It's 3:19. Sunday Night Football is about to start. So anybody who tuned in, thank you guys for watching. Again, we do the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. They help us out a bunch. We appreciate it. We'll see you back here next week. We're going to record on Tuesday. We'll see you back for a live on Friday. We'll recap Thursday Night Football and preview the Week 11 slate. But that's it, man. Peace.
Dale.